After the battle, Jabari gathered his people and honored Alina in front of everyone. He declared her no longer a part of a deal, but his chief advisor and wife, with the title Shield of the Ascari, which she had earned with her wisdom and bravery. The tribe celebrated this union with a festival that lasted for weeks. Alina was no longer an outcast foreigner, but a beloved and respected leader of her people. However, this news also reached Marcus's ears. The failure of the mercenaries and his daughter's queen status in a tribe did not make him proud, but furious. He had both lost the additional profit he expected from the arms deal and lost control over his property. He came to the Ascari lands with a few men, and claiming the deal was void because Alina was now working against his interests, demanded his daughter back. The confrontation took place on the border of the tribe's territory. Marcus promised Alina riches to return, but he was no longer facing the old, timid girl. "The only thing you ever taught me was the price of things, father," Alina said in a voice as cold as ice, "and I have learned that my own worth is something you can never afford." Then, she revealed that she had used her knowledge of his illegal deals and smuggling activities from her time as his accountant to inform the colonial governor through a trusted trader. Marcus was ruined not by tribal warfare, but by the laws of the world he worshipped. Years later, the Ascari tribe, under the joint leadership of Jabari and Alina, had become a center of prosperity, successfully navigating the colonial threat through a combination of strength and diplomacy. They had their own children, raising a generation that carried the best of both cultures. One evening, as they were planning a new trade route in their study, their young son traced a line on the map with his finger. Jabari looked at his wife and smiled. "I acquired you for the price of war." Alina smiled back and replied, "And in you, I found a peace more valuable than any kingdom." They were now, in every sense of the word, a true king and queen, partners in life and in love. Nia's new life in the Sun tribe was a humiliating captivity. She was given the filthiest jobs, cleaning the animal pens, preparing meals for the lowest-ranking warriors. Their goal was to make her forget her identity as a princess and to break her spirit. Nia endured every insult and every hardship with silent fortitude. During the day, she played the role of an obedient slave, while at night, she forged plans for revenge in her mind. Her eyes recorded everything: the tribe's weak points, the rivalries among the warriors, the men Chief Kaiden trusted most. However, Nia's real enemy was not on the outside, but within. Zola, the daughter of the tribe's head shaman, was an ambitious woman who hoped to marry Kaiden. Nia's arrival in the village had upended Zola's plans. Kaiden's unexpected interest in Nia had planted seeds of jealousy and hatred in Zola's heart. Zola used every opportunity to turn Nia's life into a nightmare. She secretly added bitter herbs to her food, deliberately sent her to dangerous areas to gather wood, and incited the other women against her. "She is a snake," she would whisper. "She will poison our chief's mind and destroy us all." Chief Kaiden was aware of these petty intrigues, but did not intervene. This was another test for Nia. In the wild, the weak do not survive, and his court was a part of that wilderness. But there was something Kaiden didn't know. Nia had learned from her mother not only the secrets of healing herbs, but also the secrets of poisons and their antidotes. When she noticed Zola's bitter herbs, she saw it not as a threat, but as an opportunity. She secretly prepared an antidote to neutralize the poison and began to wait for Zola's next move. In this silent war, she would not be the one to draw first blood, but time would tell who would have the last laugh. The first act of intrigue unfolded during the tribe's most important celebration, the Return of the Sun Festival. This was a sacred night when the entire tribe came together, reinforcing Kaiden's leadership and power. Zola saw this night as the perfect opportunity to humiliate and eliminate Nia in front of everyone. She mixed a slow but effective poison into the special drink prepared for the chief. The poison wouldn't kill him immediately, but would drag Kaiden into a debilitating illness that would last for days. As the culprit, She would point to the foreigner, Nia, who was tasked with serving the drink. As Nia presented the drink to Kaiden, she noticed the glint of triumph in Zola's eyes. She also immediately recognized the faint, earthy scent in the drink. It was the scent of the plant her mother had taught her to call the silent death. Just as Kaiden was about to lift the cup to his lips, Nia accidentally stumbled, causing the cup to fall from her hands. As the drink spilled into the fire, a green and unnatural flame flared up for a moment. It was a sign that only experts in poison would recognize. Kaiden leapt to his feet in anger. Everyone thought they had witnessed either Nia's clumsiness or worse, an assassination attempt. Zola thought it was the perfect time to shout, "See, she tried to poison us," but Nia acted before anyone else. "Forgive me, my chief," she said in a calm voice, but her eyes were locked directly on Zola. "I wish to add an herb I believe to be healing to your sacred drink, but it seems this herb calls forth evil spirits when it touches the fire." It was an incredibly clever move. She had both eliminated the implication of assassination and sent a secret message to Zola. "I know your game." Kaiden was no fool. He saw the meaning in Nia's eyes, the frozen expression on Zola's face, and the strange flame that had risen from the fire. He did not punish Nia that night. Instead, he summoned her to his own tent. Before him stood not a simple captive, but a woman who could be more cunning and more dangerous than even the most treacherous snakes in his own tribe. "Tell me," Kaiden said, his voice as cold as ice, "more about that healing herb." The game had begun. The air in Kaiden's tent was as tense as a drawn bowstring. This was not an interrogation, but a battle of wits. As Kaiden tried to understand the depth of Nia's knowledge and her true intentions, Nia weighed how much to reveal and how much to conceal. Finally, "My mother knew poisons," Nia said calmly. "She always told me that to defeat a snake, you must first know its venom." With this answer, she both implied that she knew of Zola's trap and positioned her own knowledge not as a tool for aggression, but for defense. Kaiden was in a difficult position. Zola was the daughter of the head shaman, the spiritual leader of the tribe. Accusing her without concrete proof could lead to a dangerous division within the tribe. He realized that the only person who could uncover this internal threat was the captive princess standing before him. She was no longer a prize for Kaiden, but a political necessity. Kaiden made her an offer. He would elevate her from the status of a simple servant to his personal attendant. This meant Nia would be untouchable. In return, Nia would be his eyes and ears, helping him to uncover the intrigues woven by Zola and her father. Nia's life changed that night. She no longer cleaned the stables, but was moved to a better tent next to Kaiden's. The people of the tribe could not understand this sudden change in status. Zola was furious, but could no longer openly harm someone under the chief's direct protection. Nia cleverly used her new position to gather information about Zola and her allies. The other women no longer looked at her with contempt, but with a mixture of fear and respect. One night, Kaiden found her watching the stars. "What do you see?" he asked. Nia pointed to a constellation in the sky. "That is the serpent," she said. "It is beautiful, but it waits for the right moment to strike." Kaiden understood that she was not just talking about the stars. Their alliance was now evolving into a personal understanding. Zola, cornered, devised a more audacious and deadly plan. She would accuse Nia of a crime that would draw the hatred of the entire tribe upon her. A sacred war axe, passed down from the tribe's ancestors, was stolen from Kaiden's tent. Zola expertly hid a small piece of the axe in an amulet belonging to the Moon tribe in the place where Nia slept. Then, she roused the entire village. "The traitor is among us," she screamed. "The spy from the Moon tribe has stolen our spirits and our strength. She will deceive our chief and destroy us all." The tribe was consumed with anger and fear. Nia was captured and brought before Kaiden and the council of elders to be judged. The evidence seemed overwhelming. Zola and her father, the head shaman, demanded Nia's immediate execution. The tribe was on the verge of turning against Kaiden for protecting her. Kaiden was trapped. He believed Nia was innocent, but had no proof. Instead of approving the execution, he used his authority in a gambit to buy time. "If she is guilty," he thundered, "the spirits will demand her blood. But first, a ritual of justice must be performed." This was a complex ritual that only the head shaman could lead, requiring a rare herb, and its preparation would take at least a day. While Kaidan was buying time, Nia had already made her own move. She had anticipated Zola's trap and had been secretly following her. Through a small child who secretly brought her food, she sent a message to Kaidan. "Look in Zola's secret compartment behind the waterfall." Kaidan's most loyal warriors went to the described location and found the stolen sacred axe. As the ritual reached its climax, just as the shaman was about to declare Nia's guilt, Kaidan stopped the council. He held up the axe brought by his warriors. "The spirits have made their decision," he said, "but the traitor is not this woman." Zola's betrayal was exposed. That night, the political balance of the tribe was shattered. Zola was exiled, and her father lost all his power. The people now saw Nia not as a spy, but as a hero who had uncovered a great betrayal. When Kaidan went to Nia's tent, he found her not celebrating her victory, but quietly grieving for the division within the tribe. This unexpected compassion struck the final blow to Kaidan's heart. He didn't just admire this woman. He had fallen in love with her. Months passed, and the unshakable alliance between Kaidan and Nia had blossomed into a passionate love. Nia was no longer just an advisor, but Kaidan's partner and the beloved wise woman of the people. By combining the healing knowledge of the Moon Tribe with the warrior traditions of the Sun Tribe, she had made the people even stronger. She had earned her place not as a captive, but as a leader. However, the echoes of the past had not yet fallen silent. A scout brought alarming news. The Moon Tribe had not been completely wiped out. Nia's cousin, thought to be dead in the war, had gathered the scattered tribes and sworn an oath of vengeance. They were marching with their armies towards the lands of the Sun Tribe. Their sole purpose was to liberate their captive princess and reclaim their lost lands. Nia was faced with the most difficult choice of her life. The newcomers were the last remnants of her people, but the Sun Tribe was now her family. As Kaidan prepared for war, Nia asked for a chance. She had to speak with them first. When the two armies took their battle formations, Nia and Kaidan stood unarmed in the middle. "Come with us, princess!" her cousin shouted. "It is time to be freed from the hands of this butcher who captured you." Nia held her head high and replied, her voice echoing clearly between the two armies. "You see a captive," she said, "but I have never been more free in my life. My freedom is not in a title or a piece of land. My freedom is in being with a man who values my soul, not my lineage. The man you call a butcher saved my life when the pride of my own people left me to die." Nia then proposed to her cousin not war, but unification, an offer to merge the strengths of the two tribes to create a new, greater nation. Years later, the united Sun and Moon Tribe lived in peace and prosperity under the joint leadership of Nia and Kaidan. They had children who bore the symbols of both tribes. One evening, they stood on a hill overlooking their thriving lands. Kaidan took his wife's hand. "I took you as a captive," he said. Nia smiled, "and it was your heart that was truly captured." They kissed as the sun set, a symbol of two worlds merging into a single heart.